You are watching this video because you want more. You want more from life. You want more from yourself. But in particular, you want more English speaking fluency. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today, you and I together. We're going to be focusing on increasing your English speaking fluency. So congratulations on clicking on this video because it's a significant step towards that. What you and I are going to do in this video is we're going to be focusing on three things. We're going to be focusing on building your English speaking confidence. We're going to be focusing on improving your pronunciation, and we're going to focus on making you sound more natural, more fluent. So those are the three things that we're going to be focusing on in this video. But we need your participation. I need your participation. So you have to commit to providing that and to be working together. It's going to be fun, I promise you, but we need your commitment. So can you commit to that? If you say yes, then we can continue. So are you committed? Can you commit to that? Improving your pronunciation, improving your fluency, and improving your confidence. Say yes. Well, I don't hear anything, but I'll imagine that you said yes. Great. Now we have three steps that we're going to be doing in this video. Step one, I will be asking you 12 questions ranging from A1 to C2. Out on the wall. It's pretty cool. Part two, you're going to be asking me the same 12 questions. Again, starting from the very basic A1 and continuing until the very maximum, the most advanced C2. You can ask me those 12 questions and I will answer them however I want. So that's the second part. In part three, we're going to be looking at the best answers to those questions and we'll be practicing with that. So the optimal answers to those questions, we'll be checking them out. Also, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at openings. So before you answer your question, you could be saying certain things to give you more confidence, to give you maybe a better sense of what you're going to say because it gives you more time. So we're going to be practicing openings to all of those questions. So are you ready? Are you committed? Let's go. Okay, good. So first, we're going to look at, make myself bigger here. We're going to look at openings. So these are words and expressions, what you can say before you start answering your questions. So we have from the very beginning, very basic level, A1, all the way to C2. So this is what you want to focus on in terms of implementing this into your answer. So we can say, for example, good question. That's at the very beginning. A1, A2, good question. Let's see. We're going to be looking at these questions in a moment, I promise. B1, good question. Let's see. Well, and it goes on and on and on. So we're going to be incorporating these into our answers. So are you ready for the questions? Let's start the questions. So we have a lot of those. I'm going to be asking you these questions and you could be answering these questions. So let's start that. At the first level, A1. We have two questions. I'll ask you these questions, you can answer them. But before we do that, I would like you to have an opening of, good question. The first question, maybe you don't need to do that. It's where are you from? So that's kind of obvious. Maybe you don't need to think about that. Maybe it's something like very basic, like what is your name? Good question. What is my name? So there are certain things that you don't need to be having openings with, but definitely with the second one. So I'm going to ask you this question. You can answer it however you want. You can also pause the video to answer the question. So I'm just going to ask you the question. Do something like this. Look at the camera. Look at you, because it's just you and I. And it'll give you some opportunity to answer the question. So click pause, unclick pause, and then I'll ask you the second question. Okay, let's go. So first one, hi, where are you from? Where are you from? Great. So you should have paused, answer the question extensively. Try to try to speak as much as possible. Don't worry about mistakes. We're not looking at accuracy. We're just looking at fluency. Speak as much as possible. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where? Where are you from? It almost sounds like where ya from. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Okay, next one. You guys ready? Are you ready? Okay, classic question. With this one, you should be using the opening. Good question. So, do you like pizza? You like pizza? Pause, unpause. And again, yes or no. This is a yes or no question. Yes, no. But we're going to look at the optimal answer in a bit. Okay, so this is A1. Let's go to A2. Let's continue. A2. And with the opening, it's, good question. Let's see. So I'm going to ask you the question. You can respond with, you can pause the video, respond with, good question. Let's see. You're thinking a little and you're telling the other person, you're letting them know that you're thinking. Okay, ready? Let's go. Question, pause, opening for you, answer the question, and then unpause. What do you usually do on the weekend? Hey, what do you usually do on the weekend? Pause. You had your opening, answer the question, unpause. Second question, same thing, opening. Can you describe your daily routine? Hey, can you describe your daily routine? Pause, unpause. Okay, let's continue. And again, speak as much as possible. Don't worry about mistakes. We're not worried about grammar. We're not worried about vocabulary. We're just not worried. We're focusing on fluency, speaking as much as possible and practicing these openings. Good question. Let's see. Everybody do that. Next one, B1. Okay, intermediate. Question, pause, opening, and complete the answer. Yeah, what was the last movie you watched? And what did you think about it? Did you like it? What was the last movie you watched? What was it about? Tell me about it. Did you like it? And your opening, good question. Let's see. Well, include your openings. Next question. If you could visit any country in the world, where would you go and why? If you want, one more time. If you could visit any country in the world, where would you go and why? More practice. Next one. Let's go. Continue. This is B2. The opening is, good question. Let's see. Well, if you ask me, don't worry about the idea of if you ask me, just an opening. You're telling the other person that you're going to be speaking and you're saying, wait for me, I'm preparing what I have to say. So, good question. Let's see. Well, if you ask me, question, do you think technology makes life easier or more complicated? So, question, pause, opening, you answer the question, unpause, we go to the next question. What are the advantages and disadvantages of living in a big city? I don't know. I'm thinking about moving to a big city. What are the advantages and disadvantages of living in a big city? Good question. Let's see. Next one. Advanced, C1. So now we're at C1. And the opening is, that's a great question. I don't know. Let's see. Well, if you ask me off the top of my head, which gives you more flexibility? So this is predominantly mainly for difficult questions. Okay, C1 level questions. Okay, you ready? First question. Now, I was thinking about this. What do you think? How do cultural differences affect communication in international business? Pause, opening, answer. This is complicated, but it's good practice. Next question. Remember the opening. Now, if you can tell me this, what strategies do you think, well, for you personally, what strategies do you use to stay motivated when you're learning something new? Pause, opening, answer, next question. So these are getting complicated. Complicated, no. These are getting challenging, I guess. C2, maximum level. The opening here is, hmm, that's such a great question and a tricky one at that. There are so many factors or there are so many variables involved. Well, since you asked, I would have to say that you start your answer. This is pretty cool, but you can see the difference from A1 to C2. Okay, you guys ready? Yep, you are. Where are you? There you are. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, so it doesn't matter your level, you can still practice answering this question. Okay, so here we are. And question. Hey, in your opinion, what role does art play in shaping a society's culture? Pause, opening, answer. Next question. In talking about success, um, now, what do you think about this? How would you define success? How would you personally define success? And do you think success is the same for everyone? Pause and answer. Okay, good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing and you're going to ask me. So I'm going to answer this time with an opening. Okay? But I need your participation. I have your commitment, that's for sure, and I need your participation. So are you ready to ask me these questions? You can have some flexibility with how you ask the questions, but let's go. Let's do it again. Okay, good. So in the very first part, ask me this question. Ask me the question. When I put my hand to my ear, you will ask me the question, and then I will respond. Next question. You ask me, I will respond. Next question. You ask me, I will respond. Okay, you ready? Good question. Some people think I'm from Mars. Next question. Good question. Who doesn't like pizza? Well, like honestly, who doesn't like pizza? I think everybody in the world likes pizza. Okay, next one. Okay, this is the question you're going to ask. You ready? Okay, ask me this question. Good question. Let's see. What do I usually do on the weekend? Uh, it's things that I can't do during the week. I do those things on the weekend. Next question. Hmm, good question. Let's see. I wake up, I eat breakfast, I work, I have dinner, I take a shower, and I go to sleep. Well, and everything else too. So I have a big family, so I have a lot of family activities, and every day can be different. Okay, so good. Next one. You're doing great. By the way, where are you? There you are. You're doing great. Okay, and you're going to ask me the question here. Are you ready? Hmm, good question. Let's see. Well, it was probably a Netflix movie and most likely a children's movie and one that I completely forgot about, but I'm sure that my kids loved it. Okay, next question. Good question. Let's see. Well, I would probably visit a country that I hadn't been to before because I would want to experience new things. So I'm going to say India. I would visit India. Why not? Indian food is good. Weather is nice. People are great. Next question. Your answer. You're asking me these questions and I'm answering. Okay, here we are. I'm just going to move over here. Are you ready for your question? Please ask me the next question. Good question. Let's see. Well, if you ask me, technology should make life easier, but I think overall, by and large, it makes life more complicated because we have to prioritize what's important versus what's not as important, what's urgent, what's not as urgent. So I would say overall, I think it makes life more complicated, but it should make life easier. Next question right here. So you see B2, we're leveling up. Next question. Are you ready? Ask me, please. Good question. Let's see. Well, if you ask me, the advantages of living in a big city are numerous. Basically, in a nutshell, more. You have more opportunities, you have more things to do, you have more and more and more. Those are also the disadvantages. You have more traffic, more pollution, more crime. So I would say it's offsetting. Hmm. Okay, it's offsetting. Not one is better than the other. Next question. Are you guys ready? Please ask me this question. Here we go. Please ask. That's a great question. I don't know. Let's see. Well, if you ask me, off the top of my head, cultural differences, I don't know if they affect international businesses so much that we really have to discuss it in detail. There are a lot of different factors involved, obviously, but um, namely, depending on where the uh, countries are located. If they're in the same region, maybe it's not a big communication difference in terms of business. But maybe if they're on exact opposites of the world, maybe that does factor in more. Okay, next question. Oof, wow, that's a great question. I don't know. Let's see. Well, if you ask me, off the top of my head, in a nutshell, chocolate. I'm just being silly. Next question, C2. Okay, so are you guys ready to ask me this question? Or you got you? There you are. There. Okay, please, you can ask me this question. Oh, that's such a great question and a tricky one at that. There are just so many factors involved, so many different variables. But well, since you asked, I would have to say that art is entirely subjective. And what you think is art, another person will think is garbage. So I think art is entirely subjective, even calling art art. So I think that we have to first identify what is art. Next question. That's such a great question and a tricky one at that. There are just so many factors involved, so many variables. But since you asked, I would have to say that defining success is very personal. And I really mean that. If you are incapacitated, if you have an accident, you can't move, you might think a successful day would be moving your finger. Yes. Or maybe going to the bathroom. Yes. And another person, maybe a person on a different kind of journey, would say that success is earning $2 million a day. And if they don't earn $2 million a day, they would feel like a failure. So I would have to say that success is definitely not the same for everyone. But again, something that's entirely subjective. So depending on how you define success. Okay, great. Wow. Woo. All right. So I'm kind of playing around with my answers too. But now let's go to the optimal answers. And let's continue down here. So, and I know that you worry. There you are. I know that you're still here because you committed to being here. And I know that you are a high achiever. So I know that's why you're here because you want more. So let's have more. And we have the optimal answers here. So we're going to read these together. So you can read this with me. Do you like pizza? Yes, I like pizza. It's one of my favorite foods. Yes, I like pizza. It's one of my favorite foods. I wouldn't even say yes. I would say yeah. Yeah, because it's such a casual question. Very casual. A1, very basic. Yes, it's very formal. Yeah, we're talking about pizza. I'd even change that to yeah. Yeah, I like pizza. It's one of my favorite foods. Maybe hamburgers would be another one. Tacos. I like tacos. Okay. Question. What do you usually do on the weekend? On the weekend, I usually relax, spend time with my family, and sometimes go out with friends. Together again. On the weekend, I usually relax, spend time with my family, and sometimes go out with friends, practicing inflection, intonation, pronunciation, everything else, and delivery. Great job. Let's continue. Can you describe your daily routine? Number two. I wake up at 7 a.m., have breakfast, go to work, go to school, come home in the evening and relax or do some hobbies before going to bed. We're going to change school to work. And we're going to change 7 a.m. to 7 in the morning. I wake up at 7 in the morning, have breakfast, go to work, come home in the evening, and relax or do some hobbies before going to bed at 11 o'clock or whatever time. Okay, so you have some flexibility here. Okay, let's have the next optimal answer. Here it is. What was the last movie you watched? Did you like it? And the answer, the last movie I watched was The Gladiator. I really liked it because the story was interesting and the acting was great. It kept me entertained the whole time. The whole time, the complete time, from the start to the finish. There was never a boring moment, never a dull moment. One more time. The last movie I watched was The Gladiator. I really liked it because the story was interesting and the acting was great. It kept me entertained the whole time. Next question. If If you could visit any country in the world, where would you go? I would love to visit Japan because of its rich culture, beautiful landscapes, and delicious food. I've always wanted to see the cherry blossoms in spring. So I think I said India. What did you say? Well, this one here is Japan. One more time. I would love to visit Japan. I would love to visit Japan because of its rich culture, beautiful landscapes, and delicious food. I've always wanted to see the cherry blossoms in spring. Wanted to, wanted to, wanted to. I always wanted to. Okay, good. At that level, we're saying wanted, wanted. Technology, does it make life easier or more complicated? Optimal answer. Ugh, getting ahead of myself. I think technology makes life easier because it helps us communicate quickly, access information, and complete tasks more efficiently. However, it can also complicate things if we rely on it too much or if it causes distractions. Good answer. So if you want, you can pause this and repeat that again. You can do this throughout the video. Be pausing and repeating this answer, reading it out as much as possible, because this is the optimal answer. You can also change this. The advantages and disadvantages of living in a big city. The advantages of living in a big city include access to better job opportunities, entertainment, and public services. However, the disadvantages are the high cost of living, noise, and pollution. It can also feel crowded at times. So we can work on inflection, intonation. That's good practice here as well. Okay, now we're on to C1. Okay, this is where we want to be. A lot of you are already here. Okay, let's practice some more. Let's have fun with this. Cultural differences and how do they affect international business? Here we are. Cultural differences can impact communication in international business by influencing how people perceive and approach negotiations, decision-making, and conflict resolution. For example, in some cultures, direct communication is preferred, while in others, indirect communication is more common. Understanding these differences is crucial for successful collaboration, in my opinion. Again, if you want, click pause, and you can go back if you want to do this again. More practice. Why not? Strategies for staying motivated when learning something new. I think I said pizza or chocolate. What did you say? And this is the optimal answer. I set small, achievable goals to keep myself motivated. I also try to break the learning process into manageable steps and reward myself when I reach milestones. Staying consistent and reminding myself the long-term benefits helps too. It also helps. So we have consistency, consistency, consistency. Probably better than chocolate. Okay, and the last one, C2. Are you ready? Okay, this will be fun. Art. What kind of role does art play in society? Art plays a significant role in shaping society by challenging societal norms, reflecting cultural values, and inspiring change. It provokes thought, stimulates creativity, and often acts as a mirror to the world, allowing people to better understand themselves and each other. Okay, great. You say it. Hopefully you're reading with me. We're doing this together. The whole thing is that we're doing this together. But you can also pause this and repeat this on your own. Oh my goodness. Is the class over? Oh, it's almost time for me to go to my lesson. I have a lesson in a few minutes. We have to wrap this up. Okay, one more here. How would you define success? This is going to be a fun one. Okay, let's put myself over here. Success can be defined as achieving one's personal goals, whether they are related to career, relationships, or personal growth. However, I believe success is subjective and varies from person to person. For some, success may be wealth or fame, while for others, it may be happiness or fulfillment in personal life. Okay, good, good. So, like I said, it's time to wrap this up. But I hope that everybody, well, I know that everybody participated in this, and uh, I hope that you had great practice. And again, keep on doing this. You don't have to do it one time. You can do this as much as possible in various elements of the video. And again, if you like this video, click smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Comment if you liked it. And yeah, that's pretty much for it for us for this video. And I hope that everyone's doing well. I thank you for your commitment. I really appreciate that. You are a champion, and you're a person of significance. So thank you for taking your time with me today. So that's it for us, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.